I still don't know. So. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Kansas City Oasis. Welcome back to those of you who are frequenters of our beautiful community, and very warm welcome to any folks that this is your first time with Kansas City Oasis. My name is Nikki Aktipis. I am the sometimes president of this beautiful organization, and I will be your MC this morning. We have a wonderful lineup, but before we get to our lineup, I would just like to remind us of our community values. Here at Kansas City Oasis, we have 5 values, and those are: people are more important than beliefs, meaning comes from making a difference, reality is known through reason, human hands solve human problems, and be accepting and be accepted. So yeah, I really believe that we have some wonderful speakers and some music that really speak to those values today. So our lineup is our musician, Patrick Nichols. Our community moment is Kelsey Reed. And our featured speaker is Nicole Springer. So let's get this show on the road. So I'm going to invite Patrick to come and do some music. And he has told me that he plays some really old school, or has been inspired by some old school blues. Is that correct, Patrick? You are muted, my friend. Let me try to unmute you.
That's a command many people through my life wish they could have done.
Unmute, yeah, like
yeah, no, caused me to be muted.
I think some people feel that of me too. So yeah, you have been inspired by old school blues. You have been playing since you were 15, correct? And you're gonna show us some of your skills today.
Well, thank you for having me. I played for your group last year when everyone could be together, and it was really a memorable experience. And I'm happy that you asked me to come back and play today. It's a little bit weird to play in my own space, but it was much appreciated, the invitation. So I'm going to play a few songs that I think you all might like, one of which I haven't actually practiced, as read the room, they say. The songs I play are from the 20s and 30s mostly. I really love the music that people like old great blues greats like Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf. I love their music, but I was very interested in learning what it was that they listened to when they were growing up. And so that got me interested in certain kinds of music, and I'm going to play now one. This is a tune that was done by a fellow named Dick Bill Brunzi. We're all locked in our homes, and so I thought, well, this is kind of cool. It's called The Key to the Highway. I got the key to the highway. Well, I'm built out and bound to go in, and I leave you this time, girl. I ain't coming back no more. Well, I'm gonna go down to the bottom, back where I'm better known. No, you ain't done nothing for me but run me out of my home. give me one more kiss, darling. Oh, then I'll go on. If you didn't love me, should have told me so. I got the key now, yeah, to the highway. I'm bailed out and bound to go, you know, and I leave you, baby. I ain't coming back no more. When that moon glow starts shining, yeah, you know, I'm gonna be on my way. I'm gonna walk these highways till my dying day. I got the key now, yeah, to the highway. Oh, I'm bailed out. Lord, I gotta go, and I'm gonna leave running, 'cause walking's way too. Leave running now, walking's just way too. Leave running, walking's just way too slow. You know, I did a program for a group that I do that's always, the program's a big success because it's funny, but it was done on Zoom and it was a gigantic flop because no one could hear each other laugh. So they were all just going, oh, this is boring. So of course I can't hear you clap. So I'm going to assume that the applause would have been tumultuous had we had the opportunity. So I'm gonna break off of what I planned to do and do something different. The roots of this music always have interested me. That song was done back in the 20s and became famous in the 70s and 80s, and it's done all the time by electric bands and stuff like that. Back in the 20s, before they had phonographs and radio was popular, the way music would pass from place to place was through different kinds of traveling situations. There was minstrel shows, and there were medicine shows. On the medicine show, I won't go into the whole story, but basically it was they would come to town and they'd have a doctor or an Indian chief who'd sell the cure for what ails you. And they'd have musicians that would march through town and they would play songs, and people would follow them out to this big tent out on the outskirts of town where the doctor or the Indian chief would have these cases of the elixir to cure what ails you. And it's probably, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but they usually really weren't doctors. And they really weren't Indian chiefs either. And the cure for what ails you was usually mostly high-grade alcohol with some additions. The one I saw the other day was it had tincture of cannabis sativa and a little cocaine added to it. And I thought, boy, that'd get grandma off the couch, that's for darn sure. So they had special kind of music they had for these traveling medicine shows. They had songs that were specially written for them. And this is one of them. It's called I Got Mine. Well, yeah, I went down to a big craps game. It certainly was against my will. I lost every nickel I had in my pocket, but a greenback dollar bill. $40 laying on the floor, man, my buddy's point was 9. The cops came in that front door and I got mine. Well, I got mine, Lord, I got mine. I grabbed that money up off the floor and out the back door I went flying. Ever since a big craps game, man, I've been living on chicken and wine. I'm a leader in my society 'cause I got mine. Well, I went down to my baby's house. You know, the time was just about 9. I wasn't dressed up like Henry Ford, Lord, I was feeling fine. I found my baby on another man's knee. I didn't like that sign. I told him what I thought about that, and I got mine. I got mine, yeah, Lord, I got mine. I grabbed my hat and out the window, son, I went flying. I ran away fast as I could, but I didn't get out in time. That rascal had a shotgun and he used it mighty fine. Tell you a little story about a barber shop up on North 4th Street. Only place on Saturday night that us gambling men can meet. Now some boys go for a haircut, you know, and the others head for a scrap. And you see me walking up North 4th Street, I'm there to shoot some craps. That's right, I said 7. Come 11 now, won't you come? I don't get my 7 or 11, brother, I'm done. I see the police and they see me, well, boy, I'm all gonna run. I'm a leader in my society 'cause I got mine. I said, yeah, I got mine. Now you know, child, I got mine. Grabbed them, they took us to the police station, made us all stand in line. Now some of them boys got 30 days, I just got me 9. They brought them stripes into my cell and I got mine.
That was amazing. And if you can see the videos, there were folks clapping. So you were getting a thunderous applause. And also I was chuckling the whole time because I was trying to imagine my grandma drinking whiskey and doing some cocaine, which is a really weird visual for first thing in the morning, but it's gotten me woken up. So thank you so much. That was amazing. Before we move on, is there anywhere we can see you after Oasis? Are you doing any other online shows? What's
No,
happening?
I played with the harmonica player, and you know, all the clubs that I play at are closed down. Nobody's doing live music, and so I have some stuff on YouTube. I have a number of videos. Pat Nichols Country Blues. I have a Facebook page that has some of that stuff on it. Now and then I'll play something and record it. But mostly we're all just kind of hunkered down. I do have a CD called Blues from the Delta and Beyond, which I think you can buy on all the popular services if you just dig hard enough. I have a web page on, if you just look for Pat Nichols Country Blues, you'll find the web page. I think you can download the whole CD for free there, which, you know, is perfectly fine with me. So, but thank you for the opportunity to plug myself. Hopefully we'll all be back in the spring playing music out, because this is, I was telling Jacob that I'm really happy I got to do this because I had no idea how badly deteriorated my musical skills had become during this period. The amount of time it took just to get a couple songs back to speed was kind of spooky. So thank you for the opportunity to play for you.
Well, we are so grateful that JJ got you to come on, and maybe in the springtime we'll get to see you in person, or in the meantime maybe we'll have you back on our Zoom. And yeah, and we will hear from you again later in the program.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So before we head on to our community moment, I have a few community announcements for everybody. So we are doing a Secret Santa or secret whatever imaginary character you would like present exchange. And those details can be found on our private page. The last day to sign up is December 21st. If you have any questions, reach out to Sarah. I think she's on here somewhere. And yeah, get signed up. You'll get matched with somebody. You'll probably get some weird, cool present, hopefully. And yeah, it'll be a blast. And in other announcements, yes, secret Krampus. Except hopefully nobody's kidnapping or bludgeoning anybody, which, yeah, I think those things are illegal, so don't do those. Anyways, starting next week, we are re-gearing up, revamping, grand opening of our community morning coffee chats that will be happening every morning between 6:30 and 7:30. So look for that link on our private page. And we will also be starting up again the after dinner chats every Wednesday from 8 to 9. So you can look for that information also on our private page. And yeah, join us for an hour in the morning or join us after dinner and hang out for a little bit. And yeah, there are some other things coming up that once we get some more information and get the details hashed out, we will let you guys in on some more activities we're planning. And with that, that brings us to our community moment this morning. And our community moments are from our community. They're somebody that we know pretty well or maybe not so well. And it gives us a moment to just learn a little bit more about them and learn about what they're interested in. So it can be, maybe about a vacation, maybe about a hobby, anything and everything. So this morning we have Kelsey Reed, and they have told me their 3 words to describe themselves and their warning label. So their 3 words are introverted, creative, and inquisitive. And their warning label is weekend mad scientist. So I will turn it over to Kelsey and let's see what they're up to.
All right, hello everybody. I am Kelsey Reed. In the past, I've been a musician, an artist, and a band instrument repair tech. I'm currently a software developer by profession, and I think robots are awesome. So I wanted to share my hobby, which is building robots and other electronic gadgets. All right, should be sharing the screen now. I got started with an idea. I was in a band and we didn't have a drummer. So I thought it would be cool to have a robotic drummer. I had just started coding and I knew nothing about electronics. So I did a little research and I got an Arduino starter kit. It came with a bunch of components and a book, and the book started with, "This is a circuit," which is exactly where I needed to start. And after doing some projects in the book, I had enough info to start putting together my own simple robots. So my first robot was the one on the left in the picture here. This is JunkBot. He's built with an Arduino inside an Apple computer box, and he could play some simple rhythms with 2 sticks, and he was controlled with buttons and dials on the side of the box. And then my second version, quite an upgrade. This is Slim, and he had 2 sticks on each arm and 1 for the bass drum. So he'd have 1 hand on snare, 1 on cymbal, and he could play basic drum set rhythms. And he was controlled via a phone app. So he was a little finicky sometimes, but he looked cool. And he's actually on a couple of tracks on that band's album. So what do you need to build robots? For one thing, you need hardware. There's lots of different components that you'll learn about if you get into this, like resistors and capacitors and all kinds of sensors and everything. But the brains of most projects are some kind of controller. The Arduino that I've been talking about is a microcontroller, and it's used for running hardware like sensors and motors. And you can use a USB to plug it into a computer and upload 1 program to it. And it will keep doing that program over and over until you upload a new program. The Raspberry Pi, which you may also have heard of, is basically a full miniature computer. And it's used more for software-based projects. One popular one right now is a retro game emulator, so you can get a whole ton of old games and play them on your Raspberry Pi. If you want to get started and you're a complete beginner, Arduino is generally easier to start with, unless you already know Linux. Speaking of knowing things, the next thing you need is knowledge. And it may seem daunting at first because there is so much to learn, but it's really very attainable. I don't mean to say that it's all super easy, but it's super learnable. I really think that most anyone can do this if you have some interest. I've learned a ton on my own from the internet and that original Arduino book. And there's lots of great resources online out there for projects and troubleshooting and just general knowledge. And if you think of a project that you'd like to make, you should Google it because there's a good chance there's already instructions out there. So regardless, there are still some times that you'll get stuck and need help. And I haven't worked just on my own. Our local maker space is Hammerspace, and here in KC, and they often, before COVID, had classes there. I've mostly done electronic ones, but they've also had 3D printer troubleshooting classes and building different kinds of stuff classes and all kinds of great stuff. And they're generally just cool, knowledgeable people, and I've learned a lot from them. And these are some of the things that I've done in their classes. The center top is a light harp. So you turn that on and it has laser beams, and when you break the beam, like with your finger, it makes a tone. The LED display on the top left, we learned to use a program to turn image files into code that the Arduino can read, so then you can make little animations and stuff. The tentacle on the bottom is fun. It's a remote control tentacle, and you can make it like thrash up and down, and it makes monster noises, and it's lots of fun. And then on the bottom right, there is this cart. This was a class where we took the guts of an old hoverboard and attached them to a regular plywood board. So now you can move heavy stuff easy because you can put it on there, and the cart is powered, and it does the work for you. But it's way more fun to just sit on it and drive it around. So I was trying to demo this cart for my friends in my apartment. Indoors, bad idea. And you drive it by pulling this retractable string in the front. And the farther you pull out the string, the faster it goes. So I'm trying to drive this in our tiny living room, and it got a little bit faster in the apartment, and so I let the string go to stop. Except that's not what it does when you let it go fast. When you let it retract fast, it actually goes into reverse. So instead of stopping, I ended up shooting backwards and kind of put a hole in the drywall a little bit, and it was the best demo ever. No, it wasn't, but it was entertaining. So I like to do this because I get a lot of enjoyment out of making things and then getting to show off my work at conventions and festivals and other events. I took that cart that I just told you about to a steampunk festival, which was outdoors, and it was fantastic. People would just stop and stare as I rode by on this self-propelled cart. It looked like magic. It was great. And some other things that I've built here include the top. We have Choppy. This was a remote controlled cart with plastic chopping swords, chopping motions, and it was super hokey. But that was kind of the idea. We went to Comic-Con with a group of friends, and we were villains for hire. And I was the mad scientist, and this was my evil robot invention. And we had a great time getting cosplayers to sign up for our villain services. And I also took Choppy around and got pictures with all of the other robots I could find. On the bottom left, we have Panic Bot. This is an autonomous wheeled robot that drives around at random and almost runs into things and has flashing lights and alarm sounds.
You're being introed. You're being introed.
I'm sorry, what?
You're being introed. It's community moment right now.
Yes, I know, I've been talking.
Okay.
And sorry. So yeah, Panic Bot, instead of running around and instead of the manager running around and telling everyone to panic, now this robot can do it. And the manager can go back to their coffee break. And the, yeah, so I took that one to work and my coworkers thought that was hilarious. And then the middle bottom is Bob the Skull. This is my Raspberry Pi project. So I put an open source voice assistant, like Alexa and Google Assistant, onto the Raspberry Pi. It's called Mycroft, and attach the mic and speaker and stuff everything into the skull. And then I have a talking skull, and it's named Bob after the Dresden Files books. The last one in the bottom right is boring but useful. We had an infrared barrier for the Roomba and it stopped working, and so I made a new one. And it saved some money because replacements were like $40 or something. So yeah, my most important thing that I really want to get across is that if you're interested, you can do this. You don't need any experience in anything to get started, not even coding. There's lots of kits and things that you can get to help get started. And a lot of them are geared towards kids, but don't worry about it. If you're an adult, do it anyway. There's so many cool projects out there. There's useful things and funny things and pretty things and whatever you're into. So if you have an idea, just go for it. This is a subject that I am happy to talk about. So if you have ideas or questions or whatever, hit me up and we'll chat. And I think that's my presentation.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. I was nerding out the whole time. And yeah, I think we should just have you back as a featured speaker, and you could walk us through like the first steps of how to put together one of these guys, because I would be into that so much. Yeah. All right. And it looks like we're having a debate about which robot is the most adorable. I'm gonna have to go with the Dalek just because I have an affinity for Doctor Who. So
I didn't build the Dalek, just the cart next to it.
Well, it's their assistant, so the Dalek's assistant I'm about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And folks, if you can see our little gallery view, people were giving claps and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much. And
I'll post some links in the chat.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Post them on the private page too. And yeah, thank you so much again. And if you would like to be a community moment, we would love to have you. Please reach out to Mark Dixon, as he is our community moment human. I think he's here somewhere today. And with that, we are going to head out into our breakout rooms, which would normally, if we were in person, would be our coffee break time. So this is like chat roulette, but PG. You will get placed in a breakout room with 5 of your best friends or 5 new friends. So we will see you all in 10 minutes. And as a reminder, if you come back to the main room before we are done with coffee break, keep it PG, because this is going to be recorded and eventually posted online, or foes. I feel like I might have some foes in this group, or some, as JJ told me yesterday, he was a meat popsicle. So we will see you all in 10 minutes.
Hi, Nikki.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. Going good. There was no Facebook Live this morning, so.
We're still working on it because every time we try to get on, it like does a little spinny circle and doesn't connect. So Julie's still working on getting that
figuring
sorted
out
out.
what the issue is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. Here I am participating.
Woohoo! Well,
The
you are
gypsy in background.
You're in for a good featured speaker. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I mean, every week there's always something fascinating, but yeah, I'm excited.
well, good. I'm glad that you decided to hop on. Because also it's always a wild ride when Nikki's emceeing. So
It's true. You look gorgeous this morning, by the way.
thank you. It's the really bad camera. You can't see that I haven't done my eyebrows lately.
Oh.
So it's all like that nice blur effect that's happening. Yeah.
Well, it's working for you, darling. So
thank you. Well, it looks like we have everybody back here. So welcome back. I hope you all got to connect with some old friends. Maybe you've made some new friends. Maybe you've made some new enemies, which I hope has not happened. But you know, every protagonist needs an antagonist, I guess. Anyways, welcome back. We're glad you all are still here to listen to our featured speaker. But before we get to that, we have Patrick again, who is going to play us some more songs, or plays another song. And yeah, so Patrick, take it away. And I will ask you to unmute.
I am unmute myself. I am unmuted. Am I unmuted now?
Yes, you are good to go.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it's really a lot of fun to meet you all and kind of be a part of this. And so I had a different thing I was gonna do during the this little break song here, but I think I'll go back to just playing the regular guitar. I have an all metal guitar that I play a lot in all my shows, but it felt like I was just sort of overwhelmed with the sound. So generically what I play are country blues. And country blues is kind of a catch-all phrase for different types of blues played before World War II, probably starting in the late teens, burgeoning in the 20s and 30s. With the advent of recordings and radio, mostly solo artists who started in one place, and then the next generation people moved around and became peripatetic, so to speak, and eventually started coalescing into groups of musicians. And so it would qualify as Delta blues or ragtime blues or whatever. But the one blues person that most people, if you know much about blues, the one blue person from this time that people know is Robert Johnson, who was grew up in Mississippi, near the plantation where much of this music started. And he sort of broke away from the mold of those musicians who typically would have a set of verses they would play and just string them together. Johnson was the first person in this that we know, recording-wise, who started using his songs to tell a story, which of course is the whole point these days of all songs. And he was a real pioneer. He played, as you'll hear from what I'm going to do, he could alternate things with his fingers, again, which just wasn't done at that time. And this is one of his songs that I really feel a lot of affection for. Because whereas a lot of blues songs are, my woman treated me bad or whatever, This is someone who's, the point he wants to make is a little bit different. So it's Robert Johnson's song, and it's called When You've Got a Good Friend. Now when you got a good friend, let us stay right by your side. If you've got a good friend, let us stay right by your side. And give up all your spare time, love and treat that lady right. I'm mistreating my baby, I don't know the reason why. But I'm mistreating my baby, I don't know the reason why. Every time I think about it, hang my poor head and I cry. I wonder, should I apologize, or would she sympathize with me? I wonder, should I apologize, would she sympathize with me? Well, she's a good-hearted woman now, kind as a girlfriend could be. I really love my baby, oh Lord, and I know she loved me. I really love my baby, and I know she loved me. I love that woman so much, don't know why we just can't agree. It's my opinion now, you know I might be right or wrong. Child, it's my opinion, I said you know I might be wrong. You watch your close friends, brother, you know your enemies won't do you no harm. I said if you got a good friend, brother, you let us stay right by your side. If you got a good friend now, let us stay right by your side. And give up all your spare time, love and treat that lady right.
Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome. Can I have everybody come off of mute and just give Patrick a round of applause? Because, yeah, come off mute. Yeah.
Fantastic!
Thank you.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much. And we will hear from you one more time at the end of our program. And I know I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So, without further ado, I will introduce our featured speaker. And let me make sure I'm doing things correctly because who knows? Life is a wild ride. I want to get them on here first. Aha, there we go. Okay. So today we have Nicole Springer, who will be talking to us about, I think we've got to mute some folks still. Sorry, I'm doing my best today. Doing the best that I can with what I got. So some of you may know Nicole as a singer-songwriter from Kansas City, but she also has a nonprofit that is called No Shame. It is a period product project. That is a mouthful for me. A period product project for our homeless community here in Kansas City. And yeah, I think I'm just going to turn it over to Nicole to tell us more about what they're up to and introduce us to what they've been up to. So I will turn it over to you, Nicole, and I will stop talking.
Okay. Hey, everybody. My name is Nicole. Sorry, I thought my video quality the light was a little better, so I apologize. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear, but yeah, my name is Nicole Springer. Thank you so much, Nikki, for the introduction and this opportunity. Very humbled and feel honored to be here. So thank you for that. So yeah, my name is Nicole Springer. I'm a singer-songwriter here in Kansas City, full-time currently, the best that I can be considering COVID. But in addition to that, I recently founded an organization that isn't officially nonprofit yet. We're still fairly young. So in 2021, we aim to become an official 501c, and we are called No Shame. That's the full title, and we'll be doing kind of rebranding the slogan, which will be a period product project for our underserved community, because the needs for people right now are severe, and we're trying to reach people that are housed but out of work, or housed and have just no income, nothing, no way to help provide for these types of needs. So trying to take things off people's plates. But so that's our mission, to provide free period products and menstrual health care related access resources to our underserved community. So I will just kind of tell you a little bit about how this came to be and my own experience that ties into it as well. So No Shame, the seed was planted for No Shame back in 2019. I had taken a mental health break from performing music and being a musician for about 1.5 years. When I came back to music, I knew I wanted it to be more than just trying to play a venue or trying, to make money as a musician. I wanted to do something with music to give back. So I somehow stumbled upon another nonprofit called Kansas City Heroes, and ended up meeting Jennifer McCartney, who is the founder of that group. And they serve our houseless community every week. They have a houseless picnic. They work with senior citizens. They provide beds and ovens and refrigerators for families who just need help with those kinds of resources. And I was just so inspired by them that I just reached out and said, I'm a musician. I don't have much, but I'd love to bring music to any place that you guys are at that might help lift spirits. And so it started with me performing some songs for the houseless picnic. And over this last year, here in 2020, obviously with COVID and the pandemic, and just realizing how quickly people are slipping into poverty and how great the houseless crisis is becoming, I was inspired to start this organization. So let's see where I'm at. So yeah, August of this year, the seed started to grow into something much more. And I was on Twitter and I saw a tweet that just blew my mind as soon as I read it. It just changed everything. And the tweet was simply this. It said, normalize donating pads to homeless shelters. And I don't know what it was about that. I'm very aware of the houseless crisis. I've met and served houseless people, but I'd never thought of it in that context of somebody experiencing a period and being houseless and only having one pair of clothes that they're wearing, and just the shame associated with that. It just was overwhelming to like have it put in those terms. It just humanized something that I feel like in our society we're so conditioned to just accept as there's just houseless people everywhere, and that's just the way it is. And just got me thinking that I kind of started researching to see if there was anything that was kind of focused on period products. And there are several groups that are advocates for this, and just period positivity generally and ending period poverty. So that's covered, but I decided that I could do something too. And as a musician with, my little platform, I just put it out there. I got on Facebook and I had told Jennifer McCartney of my idea, and she loved and supported it. And I shared it on Facebook, and just the response was overwhelming. And I got a lot of feedback from people who also had never really thought of the dignity with your body when you're houseless, like to not have access to tampons and pads. And then just to also see how uncomfortable some people are with the subject, how uncomfortable I had been with this subject until I realized how human it is and that there is no shame. And so that's where the no shame concept, of course, came into play. But so seeing that tweet, not only did it inspire the idea, but it triggered my own experience. So when I was 19, I was thrown out of my home for being gay. And over 6 years, I had some temporary houselessness and experienced poverty. I couldn't afford tampons and pads myself at times between the ages of 19 and 26. There were times where I resorted to stealing from the stockroom of my employer because I just didn't have that money to even go buy a box of tampons. So it was emotional to kind of own like that experience. I had just tucked it away so far deep within me that it just spilled. And that's the power, I think, that I like Twitter, because you can capture somebody with that tweet. That tweet just like changed my life. And what was interesting was the person who tweeted it, I ended up messaging them and letting them know. And they shared No Shame's page on their Twitter, and they had over 20,000 followers. So we automatically have some support from even outside of Kansas City. But so anyways, this whole experience was it brought me back to my own struggles. It opened my mind to the deeper needs of our houseless community. And so September 1st of 2020, I made the announcement, founding No Shame, a period product project for our houseless community. Initially, it will be rephrasing that to underserved communities. But yeah, the main priority initially was to provide period products, but that has grown. We actually now hand out hygiene items, hygiene kits, bladder control pads. In fact, I'm still looking for places to donate those bladder control pads, nonprofits that maybe have some sort of connection to more of the elderly community in Kansas City that may be struggling. We're looking into talking to Meals on Wheels, and we're actually going to be working with Jewish Family Services and getting them some as well, because they have access to, when I talked to them on the phone, they said that the number of families they're serving right now have doubled since the start of COVID. And Jewish Family Services serve a lot of people. So that gives you a pretty good idea of the amount of suffering and struggling we have going on. But so we've also included survival gear, clothing and food. We really accept any kind of donation that's going to help somebody that's houseless. And anything you can think of, we'll take it. If we can't use it, we pass it on. So we not only, we started out going to Kansas City Hero Picnics. Those are every Tuesday nights. And we do that about once or twice a month, and free hot soup once or twice a month. So trying to get in every week to some part of the community to bring period products and hygiene items. And it started with that, but now we've actually expanded. We pass on donations to other organizations who work directly with our houseless. So I'm going to name drop a few, and you can definitely go check them out and see how you can support them as well. One is called Avenue of Life, and they are based in Wyandotte County. And they just opened a youth home for unaccompanied minors in Wyandotte County. And yeah, there are unaccompanied youth in Wyandotte County. I forget the number, but I want to say it was 29 to 30 that they were housing. So we've given them 2 deliveries so far of just tampons, pads, wipes, soap, deodorant, anything that it just depends on the donation. So We also have donated to Pride Haven, which is a drop-in center for young adults facing houselessness. That's in the Crossroads. So Pride Haven, they've been around. They actually, when they started out, I think in the 80s, it was a home for people with AIDS. And they were actually, I think, one of the first to actually have that kind of center for people with AIDS. But check them out. Very inspiring group. Homeroom Health, they're a health center that's off of, I think it's off Troost and 31st in downtown. And they help people that don't have Medicaid or health insurance. They have dentist office right there. They even have a youth hangout center. That's who we donated the period packs to, is for the youth that come in that could use that help. But and then Care Beyond the Boulevard, we just met them and we'll be partnering with them in the future, trying to expand the operations. So initially we started with houseless people, our houseless community. Now we're helping our housed community that are struggling. And we're going to hopefully be working with victims of sex trafficking that are being housed and trying to get back on their feet, and also working with Care Beyond the Boulevard, hopefully soon, to work with people that are getting out of prison, because the women and men that come out of prison are basically get a trash bag and are sent on their way. And so just starter packs. We're just really trying to help in any way that we can. So we have 6 different donation locations here in Kansas City. So that was the cool thing. As soon as I announced it, within a week, we had 3 local businesses that wanted to have a bin in their space. And so let's see, Midtown Cava is on 39th Street. They have a donation bin. The Smalter Gallery, if you haven't been, they have limited hours, but you should just go check out the art anyways. Great local art there. They also are accepting donations. State-of-the-art picture framing on 39th. We have Lost Evenings Brewery and Lenexa Hoy Supply in my hometown of Oak Grove, which is really special that my hometown stepped up and has provided so many donations. And then we have the Big Rip Brewing Company in North KC. So the donations have been just pouring in. It's been an incredible response. Just sometimes I'm just brought to tears. We also have an Amazon wish list. So I never know what's coming to my front door, but we recently had a come to find a judge in Kansas who ordered everything off our wish list, $200 worth of things. So that's been coming in, and I'm just like, So what we're working on right now is we're making 30 holiday packs for some of the houseless women on Independence Avenue. So everything that we're getting, we're packing up these bags, and on Christmas Eve, we'll be dropping those off. And we want to start sponsoring people across the community that need help, giving them like 3 months worth of period products, just to get that off people's plate. There's enough to worry about than to not have access to a pad or a tampon. So that's kind of the long and short of it. As of January 2019, between Missouri and Kansas, there were 8,500 homeless individuals and families. I can't imagine what the number is now and how much worse it could get if things don't get better. So it's amazing though to see the community that's been built between Free Hot Soup and Kansas City Heroes and just all these amazing human beings. There's a great group called Kansas City Mutual Aid. Nikki, I'm not sure if you found me there maybe, but that's where I will go post and let people know if they need help with period products. I do routes around the city, and I have a team of 7 volunteers as well, so representing all different areas. And so that's something that we've been doing every week, is delivering to people's doors, because not everybody even has a car to meet. Not everybody has the availability. They're working 12-hour shifts, so they have 5 kids. Yeah, sometimes it's emotional, but I'm just so grateful that we have the support of enough people that the donations we're being able to provide for some of those needs. So let's see, was there anything else? So yeah, in 3 months, we've received over 14,000 donations of pads, tampons, and liners. Also shampoos and soaps, deodorant, shoes, socks, gloves, hats, hand warmers, foil blankets. And if we can't use these, if we can't get these to people soon enough, we redirect them to other organizations. So if you're interested in donating, you can find us at No Shame in KC here on Facebook and Instagram. And we have the wish list, should be on one of our pinned posts, but I can also share that in this chat. As far as monetary donations go, I'll just be honest, like I've never started an organization. Gosh, I don't even have a college degree, but here I am. And that was a big hurdle to get over too. So No Shame. It's also about removing the stigmas of shame on everything, period related, poverty, houselessness. I mean, even like the shame of thinking you can't make a difference because you don't have a college degree or because you don't have some accolades. Well, I just don't think that's true. So this has just been one of the most beautiful experiences of my life doing this. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity and platform to talk about it. And I will drop some links in the chat here momentarily. I don't know if I've spoken long enough, probably not. But if I can open it up to any questions or anything, I would love to do that.
Yeah, no, awesome. First off, thank you so much for coming and speaking with us. Honestly, I don't remember where I was creeping and found y'all, but I found you guys pretty much at the start of things, and I keep my eyeballs on a lot of stuff in Kansas City, and yeah, I just thought it was the opportunity for me to reach out and be like, hey, now's the time. Would you like to come speak to us? So I was super excited that you agreed to come talk to us, because like I was telling you earlier, I'm relatively new here, so I didn't know you were a big thing in Kansas City, like with your music anyways, but now I do. And yeah, so I'm just rambling on is what's happening because I'm excited. The biggest question right now is in the chat was, where do we donate? What is the easiest way to donate? And yeah, drop some of those links in the chat. Drop your Amazon account. If there is a way to drop monetarily some money.
Yes, I will drop my Venmo here. Anything that, if anybody donates anything today, it's going to probably go towards shipping. We're going to be shipping holiday packs to anybody that we've helped. We want to send them packs directly, and so that's what that would go to. Let me see if I can. Hopefully that works. If there's any issues, let me know, but there's absolutely zero pressure on that. Let me get you a link. So yeah, we have the Amazon wish list, which seems to be, you know, this, especially with COVID, the easiest way to give if you'd like. But again, we have those 6 donation locations, and I'll just put our website. One of our volunteers, Kinsey, just built us a website, which is really cool.
Yay.
So I know I seriously, like, I have made real friends through this. Like when you meet people that share your values and just, you know, it's just, it's really special. So let me see here. Sorry.
You're all right.
Here's the wish list coming.
And if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, because otherwise I get to make up questions and they're not always on point on a Sunday morning because I'm saving what's left of my brain for my kids on tomorrow during school. So yeah, drop your questions. The links are in the chat. So I do have a question because I'm a teacher for KCK, and I'm in Wyandotte. Are there any plans, Wyandotte County? There we go.
Yeah.
Are there any plans to pair up with schools in the area? What's the direction? I know you're only 3 months out, but yeah, tell us a little bit more about your direction. I know you've already talked a little bit about some of it, but yeah.
Well, man, I mean, we want to expand anywhere there's a need, and schools were one of the first things I thought of too. And then when I talked with Jennifer, we kind of was like, you know, until we're officially nonprofit, you know, dealing with the subject of periods and everything, you know, we're just kind of going to ease ourselves into that direction. But we actually have a high schooler and her mother who I went to school with that are both volunteers, and she's actually reaching out to her teachers and everything to see if there's anybody that can use period packs. So we'll probably start there and just kind of have them available, no questions asked. And it's no questions asked anyways. And we also are very inclusive. So this is for anyone experiencing a period pack. If I mentioned women, it was only because I know that I'm serving specifically women in those cases, but we are totally inclusive, absolutely 100%. Let's see. What about menstrual cups? Yes, so I know menstrual cups, my initial hope was and goal, you know, my mission statement was to have menstrual cups donated for, you know, every houseless person in the city, because it seems like it's more maintainable, it's better for the environment, but at the same time, you have to think that you need access to a shower. You need to be able to wash it and clean it. And so it creates a different set of problems potentially, but in all fairness, I do need to do more research on that and check out different studies and see what some other cities are doing. That's a lot of what I'm doing now. I mean, I think in New York City now, or maybe it's just the state of New York, they just reached 20,000 homeless people. So compare that to Kansas City, Missouri, that was 8,500 as of 2019. So I'm definitely trying to pay attention to what other cities are doing because they are leading the way, because their problem is, extremely severe. Any houseless community, I mean, that's just not acceptable in any way. But yeah. So anyways, let's see. I just lost track of what I was even saying. Is there a difference between houseless and homeless? I chose houseless because I don't really love the concept of a structure having to be the feeling of home, and that may not be what some people that are experiencing houselessness, they may have a sense of home in some other way. And I just didn't want to, I don't know. I was just trying to be, I don't know, a little more, less personal. I don't know. Home to me is more personal than house. I don't know, but I don't think it necessarily matters either way. That's just the route I went with it. Do I take credit cards? Well, Venmo, I did put my Venmo in there. I also could do my PayPal.
Drop your PayPal as well, because we have people who like doing different types of everything.
I appreciate it. I will, any money that's donated, I will provide, absolutely provide documentation and receipts, because it's very important to me that this is the most transparent organization that there's ever been. That's just how I want to be until we're official and we can, do everything by the books. But yeah, let me get the request. Let's see. But yes, so schools, yes, we want to do schools. Like I mentioned, we want to, where it is, oh, there we go. We want to help people that are getting out of prison. Let's see, youth homes. I mean, anywhere that there's a need, we want to be able to help. So sorry, I shouldn't.
No, you're okay. No,
right,
no worries.
Cool. Thank you. Do you mind if I just read what's in the chat, or?
Yeah, you're good. Because I was gonna actually ask, if there are people who want to volunteer, how can they get involved with volunteering? Because I know we have some folks that still do drop-offs and pickups of stuff. So how can folks get involved with volunteering?
Sure. Well, you can message either the Facebook page or the Instagram page. You'll either get me or my volunteer, Erica. She helps me manage the social media now. It's so cool just to not be doing it all. It gets I started this and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? This is crazy. I can't do all this. But when you have a team, that makes all the difference. So let me put my email in here too. If you prefer the email route, you can email, let me know what location you're in, because let me know if you know of any businesses. If you know any businesses that would want to take the bin, I'd love to get into Overland Park, Mission, some of those areas that aren't being as hit as hard by COVID. We actually have a temporary donation location in Overland Park. It's at TriTac. It's a horse, an equestrian store. She just randomly found us and was like, can I have a bin, or can you give me a bin? And I'll do for the month of November donations. And they've given us 3 carloads of donations. So yeah, we're looking for any help in any way. So let me know what you think, what you'd like to bring to the table if you're interested, even if it's just sometimes people just want to drop off donations. They don't want to go into a business. So if you live near someone, I can always check with you and see if you'd mind if they drop on your patio, and we can arrange and coordinate after that. But yeah, email or message, however you're comfortable.
Well, hopefully when we get, because we currently are totally virtual. So we dropped our permanent place of residence for a while. So when we get another permanent place, I personally would like to get one of your bins in our Oasis space. It might not be for a hot second.
Sure.
But I would be very willing, and I feel like I can speak for the rest of my board. If I'm speaking out of turn, they'll tell me later. If not, I'm pretty sure they'll be on board. But yeah, I would like that.
Cool.
And I'm getting my secretary. Yes, secretary. Melissa is also agreeing that she's seconding the thingy that I just said. And Amy and Jason are saying the Venmo link did not work.
Son of a gun. All right, look, can I just give you is it okay if I just give you all the handle for it?
Yeah, that's fine. And if you
Cool.
have any other questions, please drop them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll get our Patrick back on. But yeah, like I said, I was super excited. Like, I'm still really excited to have you here today. I've been keeping my eyes on y'all for a hot second. So I'm excited to see you grow. I'm excited for us to help out, and hopefully maybe there are some folks here that would like to volunteer, because yeah, what you are doing is important, not just right now, but after everything is done being 2020 type of terrible. This is still important work, right? So yeah, hopefully we can meet you in person sometime when we get back together in person. And yeah, just thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. And just if I can say one last thing real quick, if you know anyone or if you yourself are struggling just generally, and my no shame can take a few things off your plate, please, we have an open door policy with that. Anybody, we don't ask questions. If you're struggling, we want to be able to help you with this. So just wanted you to know, or if you know anybody, feel free. I mean, not that we want to like call anybody out, but sometimes people, we've dropped off packages to people that are in like a domestic abuse situation and their friend reached out just to lift their spirits. So we're happy to help anyone we can. So that's all. Thank you for the opportunity and hope to meet y'all in person in 2021.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So first off, that was awesome. It's been awesome today. And now, as we end the program, I will ask Patrick to come back. But before that, I have to do my contractual, obligatory final message to you all, that Kansas City Oasis is a 501c3. We are entirely volunteer run. And if you would like to continue to see us do the things that we're up to, and you would like to support us monetarily, you can do so by going to our website at kcoasis.org, and there should be a donate button there. Or you can text a donation through 816-839-7656, and I can put this in the chat. And without further ado, I will turn it over to Patrick for one last song.
Well, golly, thanks a lot. You all it's really an impressive group, and the program that we just heard about is really remarkable, and it's a testament to the power, I think, of what one person with the right motivation and the right heart and the right spirit can accomplish, and it's just pretty remarkable. So I'm glad to learn about it. My daughter runs a nonprofit for the disability community in Topeka, and they provide a lot of things, including clothing at the hospital after there's been a rape kit investigation, and a variety of food for the homeless. And I'm going to absolutely give her a call when we're done and see what she might have that could interact with that as well. It's just remarkable. So thank you for the opportunity to learn about that.
Patrick, send her my way. She can come speak to us.
I will do that. So the thing is, it'd be nice to end on something positive, but I'm not going to. I've changed the songs I was going to play a little bit today, just because as I've learned more about you all. This is a song. This isn't an old song, but it's a blues song. It's by a fellow named Mose Allison, who was a jazz singer and pianist, New York guy. The point of the song is don't worry about a thing, cause nothing's gonna be alright. Well, if life is driving you to drink, sit around wondering now just what to think. Well, I got some consolation, I'm gonna give it to you if I might. Well, I don't worry about a thing now, cause nothing's gonna be alright. Well, the world is just one great big trouble spot. Cause some have plenty now, but others not. But I used to be worried until I finally saw the light. Now I don't worry about a thing, man, cause nothing's gonna be alright. This was written back in the 60s. Well, it ain't no use trying to be a go-getter, cause things get worse now before they get better. And there's always some fool out there playing with dynamite, and we know who that is. That's why I don't worry about a thing, man, because nothing's gonna be alright. Well, it ain't no use trying to be a big winner, cause while you're getting fat, man, somebody else is getting thinner. There's always that fool out there playing with dynamite. That's why I don't worry about a thing now, cause nothing's gonna be alright. Cause nothing's gonna be alright. But you know, we gotta keep up hope, don't we? That's what I say, we gotta just keep believing that the future's gonna get better. But for now, I try not to worry about a thing, cause nothing's gonna be alright. That's it.
Yay, thank you so much. So can we all come off mute and just give all of our speakers and our musician a round of applause, because what an awesome program. Well, thank you once again to all of our presenters today. That was amazing. And thank you to all of you that have tuned in and keep this community going. Y'all are awesome. And this is always a good way to start off a week. So thank you so much again to everybody. And we will see y'all next week.